Hello everyone, and welcome to my Duel Today official news channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Tate's Salem transfer, Sarah's house call, Nicole's secrets from Holly. The Wednesday, February 28th Days of Our Lives spoilers recap shows that before Holly Jonas phoned her mother, EJ and Nicole DiMera heard her cough on the monitor. Nicole and EJ raced out of bed and went to Holly's room, where they found her dazed and disoriented. Holly was still extremely disoriented and didn't realize a lot of time had gone, so she kept asking what time it was and if the party was done. Nicole said that she had been in the hospital, taking care not to let Holly know that it was almost March. Nicole comforted Holly that she was home now, but Holly appeared confused and found it difficult to speak more than a few words. During Wednesday's episode of Days, Chad DiMera ran into Sarah Horton in the town center while picking up some sweets from Sweet Bits. This sparked discussions concerning the marriage reversal of Johnny and Chanel DiMera and EJ's insistence that Xander Cook wasn't framed. When EJ called to report that Holly had woken up, Sarah promised to come right over. Even though Sarah was unable to violate the privacy of medical patients, she was convinced that Chad would hear from his brother shortly. On Wednesday's DOL episode, after Sarah departed, Chad ran into Stephanie Johnson and apologized for not telling her about Everett Lynch, aka Bobby Stein. Stephanie accepted Chad's offer to go with her to the Horton residence in order to distract herself from the idea that she had fallen for a compulsive liar. Chad informed Stephanie about the Horton ornaments that had survived the fire and showed her the damage as he took some pictures for the insurance adjusters. The fact that Tom and Alice Horton's chair survived the fire virtually unscathed also made Stephanie very happy. Chad was glad to hear that EJ had eventually called to inform him that Holly had woken up. EJ made an effort to maintain optimism despite the lack of advancement in the inquiry into the fire and the call Chad got that evening. Chad informed Stephanie about the phone call, the distorted voice, and the mysterious message he believed to have come from Clyde Weston after Stephanie inquired about Holly. After returning to the DiMera mansion, Sarah gave Holly a quick inspection. She was still confused and kept nodding off. Sarah, though, was happy with the exam's findings and found it remarkable that Holly had even opened her eyes. Sarah offered Nicole some instructions on how to take care of her daughter and that she hoped Holly would make a full recovery. Sarah also mentioned that she intended to run additional testing at the hospital when Holly had had time to adjust. Because of the whole Xander incident, there was some tension between Sarah and EJ, thus EJ avoided being seen. Sarah pretended that Nicole's apology didn't matter, saying that taking care of Holly came first. Nevertheless, Sarah was unsure of how to make sense of the disparate versions of EJ, the caring stepfather and the one who wouldn't acknowledge that Xander had been set up. Sarah stated it had to be better because she felt in her heart that Xander was innocent, but Nicole insisted the truth would come to light. On Wednesday's episode of Days, Alex Kyriakis was so preoccupied that he almost bumped into Kristen DiMera in the park. This prompted him to talk about his thoughts. When Kristen learned that Alex had bought Teresa Donovan a ring, let her become enthusiastic about it, and then decided not to propose, she believed that Alex was an example of evolution gone awry. Alex justified his decision to back out of proposing because of the Addicts Partners meeting he attended, in addition to the fact that Tate Black made things more difficult for him. Not shocked that Teresa moved out after Alex broke her heart, Kristen thought. Ever since Teresa moved in with Brady Black, Kristen and Alex have been at odds over whether or not Kristen could win her former partner back. In the end, Kristen made up a reason to go to the townhouse and made a suggestion that Teresa should also go there. On Wednesday's episode of Days, Brady and Teresa expressed concern regarding Tate's previous outburst. Teresa didn't think Tate should take his problems out on his parents, despite Brady's attempts to convince himself that all teenage boys dislike them at some point. Teresa put Tate on speakerphone when he called, wondering whether he would apologize. Since a position at a halfway house in Salem opened up, Tate had updates instead. Brady and Teresa were excited to have Tate closer to home, but Tate seemed as though that would be detrimental to him and he wasn't sure if he should accept the position at all. Under the pretense of bringing Brady the Valentine's Day card that Rachel Black, Finley Rose Slater, had put back together, Kristen made her appearance. Brady said that they couldn't resolve their problems at all and that Kristen should go, despite Kristen's suggestion that they see Rachel as a team and demonstrate their ability to resolve their differences. Brady jokingly argued that it was now a party when Alex arrived. Teresa ignored Alex's request for an open discussion and eventually answered Tate's follow-up call. Brady and Teresa hugged at the transfer news as Tate had chosen to take the spot in the Salem halfway house. Around them, Kristen and Alex were trapped looking envious. According to spoilers for Days of Our Lives, Teresa and Brady will not give up on trying to make things right with their son, so watch to see if Tate will comply. Paulina's story is about to end, a dirty cop is outed, and a rescue mission. According to spoilers for the upcoming week of March 4th to 8th, on Days of Our Lives, Paulina Price will confess something awful to Marlena Evans. Paulina will acknowledge that she is not prepared to die despite her life-threatening medical condition. Even though Abe Carver and Lonnie Grant will be praying for Paulina to recover, they will continue to be concerned. Paulina might not have long to live if she doesn't receive a heart transplant. Despite this depressing DOL plot, there will be some tender moments when Abe shows Paulina how much he cares. There will be some frightening moments ahead since Lonnie and Chanel DiMera will rely on one another in the event that Paulina's health takes a tragic turn. Fortunately, miracles frequently occur in Salem, so things might suddenly take an unexpectedly good turn. Clyde Weston will give Ava Vitale some new instructions. According to previews for Days, Wendy Shin and Trip Johnson can lose everything if Clyde issues a terrible ultimatum. Ava will brief Steve Johnson and John Black on Clyde's most recent demands later. Since Clyde will undoubtedly proceed with a prison break in the near future, there's a fair likelihood that this has anything to do with his escape plan. Trip and Wendy will come to the realization that their gas tank is almost empty. To up the ante and encourage Ava to follow instructions, Clyde might have the vents closed. There might be another issue, though, as it seems like Officer Goldman will be revealed to be a dishonest police officer. After yet another failed attempt on his life, Harris Michaels will be weak, but he will come to his senses regarding Goldman and be able to tell Rafe Hernandez about her. There will be issues if Goldman vanishes or refuses to reveal Wendy and Trip's whereabouts without an agreement in place, as she appears to be the only person except Clyde who is aware of their whereabouts. Luckily, John and Steve are experts at finding individuals, so they'll collaborate with Ava to devise a strategy to save Trip and Wendy in any case. According to teasers for other days, Everett Lynch will tell Julie Williams the truth about Bobby Stein and confess his genuine affections for Stephanie Johnson. Everett and Marlena will have a lengthy therapy session, and they both anticipate that Bobby will make progress. At Lucas Horton's new safe house, he'll get a couple of visitors. Kate Roberts Brady and Roman Brady will stop by to see how Lucas is settling in, but they'd better be careful and make sure they're not being followed. As Sander Cook, Paul Telfer, continues to be accused of a crime he didn't commit, Sarah Horton will give him a pep talk when he needs it most. Elsewhere, Stefan DiMera will feel like the walls are closing in, so he'll turn to E.J. DiMera, Dan Furiegel, for assistance and hope that his brother can put family first. Over with Brady Black, Eric Martsolf, he'll plead with Nicole DiMera, Ariane Zucker, to let him speak with Holly Jonas, Ashley Puzimis. Brady will be on a mission to clear Tate Black's Jamie Martin Mann name, so he'll hope to pry anything out of Holly that might be helpful. Of course, Nicole may not agree to Brady's visit despite his desperation. Holly's recovery has to come first, so Nicole could easily turn Brady away for now. Eric Brady, on the other hand, will definitely be allowed a visit with Holly, so he'll be happy to see she's awake and on the mend.